I'd like to open the meeting, Ayer Board of Health meeting, Monday, September 24th, 2018. Public input? Nada.
I guess all the public
Nada.
is very quiet.
Very quiet, yes.
Okay, so the discussion for a purchase.
Well, why don't we get through the minutes
Well,
first?
You want to do that first?
I'd like to just get it out of the way.
Okay, Mary, we'll do that.
If that's
we'll
all
move on
right.
to review and approve the minutes of September 10th.
So if we could just revise this, get that out of the way, we usually do
Okay.
that first anyway, and it would.
All right, so review and approve minutes of September 10th, 2018.
I would make a motion to approve the
Yeah.
minutes of August 22nd, 2018.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those
Done.
fine.
Before we get on to anything into this, just to remind you all that we do have a meeting next Monday because of the holiday coming up. And
I'm going to be in Maryland.
Oh, you
Okay.
don't do anything to avoid a meeting. Now you're going, well, at least you're.
Well, I'm not going as far away. I'm in the same country.
You can call in.
Phone a friend.
There we go. Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah, our meetings are, actually, let me just make sure I have the right dates in here. It's the 1st and the 15th in October, correct? Because next Monday's the 1st, and then it's the 15th, and then the 22nd is town meeting.
Correct.
Okay, got it. All right.
okay. All right. So, the discussion was the purchase. It says purchase of a tablet for the Ayers animal inspector, but we had discussed that it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a tablet, and there was some discussion about what would be the best device for Julie.
Yeah,
Thomas,
an appropriate
or,
device.
yeah, appropriate for her to have
Yeah.
when she needs to take pictures or whatever
Yep.
comes up. I asked her to go ahead and talk to Cindy Knox, our IT person, and she did, and I guess that a cell phone is going to be the best deal as far as, because the town has a subscription with I don't know who the carrier is.
Yeah, I
or
don't know
whatever.
either.
But
Yeah.
that would be the best fit. So that's, I guess, what they were
Okay.
going with. And then there was an email from Lisa Gabri to just let us know that to look at the budget, because it's actually two budgets that the monies would be coming out of, whereas Julie is out of, her budget is out of, is it the police
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's dealing with
Yeah,
control.
yeah.
and ours? So that's where we left it, and I hadn't heard back yet if it had been.
Let me ask a
Okay.
quick question. As an animal control officer, is she using her own personal cell phone to do her? Because everybody has everything on their fancy phones
Right.
today. Is she using that for her work for animal control?
I think up to this point, with the phone call, the conversation I had with her was that that's the reason that she wanted to inquire about getting one, because she didn't feel that she should be using her own personal device for that reason. So,
Well, then,
in the past, I don't know if she had.
I think she had, when she spoke to me, because she saw me here when I was waiting for a meeting, and I told her to get in touch with you. Her concern, she told me, was that if something happened and they needed her phone, she wouldn't have anything, and that was her personal cell phone. So, are we now, is she now, so this has gone from getting some type of iPad or
Yeah.
to a phone. Is the phone then going to be between her work for us, which is a stipend position as the animal inspector, and then the other half of it is going to be charged to the police.
That's the discussion, because the budgets, it would be out of two different.
That's what I
Yes,
mean.
yes. And that phone
I
would be,
think
it
so.
would be just like the iPhone that I have, or any, mine's not even that, that great, but you can take pictures, you can email
Yeah.
them, do
Yeah.
everything that you
Yeah.
need to do, so, yes. And that's the way that it was left, that Lisa had forwarded that for us to take a look at this. So I don't know if that final decision is something that we come to tonight, or just to inquire about.
Well, to
Well,
add,
Terry.
there's a little more background that I actually can offer, but it's from a totally different reason, but it still applies. So when we all got those electronic policies that needed to be signed off, remember the 3 of them came out?
Yep.
We had to review them and sign them. I sent back to Robert and Cindy this list of questions about the policies. And, they were everything from, how does this affect, board members like me that we don't have a town-issued laptop?
Right.
I have to use my home computer.
Right.
So I was concerned about, am I doing something wrong by connecting my home computer to? And it turns out, no, we are not. That would only apply if we were trying to get into the town, main IT system. So just doing your emails, not. But the downside of using a personal device for work stuff is if any of this information gets subpoenaed under a public records request, and she has a position where her stuff could conceivably be, if somebody gets into a legal tussle.
That was her concern.
Right. That makes other things possibly that are stored on that device something that somebody that you might not want you could look at. So I support completely her, wanting to have a separate phone for this.
No question.
And it's also good because if there is a public records request, if it's a town device and it's backing up to a town system, then they can just go in and pull whatever records they need.
Correct. And that was the original thought.
Yeah.
So here we are. So where do we go from here if this is something?
Well, wait a minute. So, how are we going to split this? Because if she was working for 2 different departments, it would be different, but ours is a stipend thing to her. So how in the world are they going to figure out how that goes? So it has to come not from her stipend, from our budget.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yes,
It
yes.
can't come out of her
Yes,
stuff.
well, that's one of the things that concerned her at first when
Yeah.
she saw me,
Yeah.
and she said, do I have to do this? And I said, I don't know what the conversation was when it first was going to be some type of electronic device, and that's why I referred her to you. So how much is this going to cost? Have we come up with a price yet?
Jean?
Through the chairman to the board. Lisa and I had this conversation. It's $50 a month. The phone is without charge itself, but the carrying charge is $50 a month. And that can come out of our budget for now. Going down, projecting to 2019, they can put a line item in the animal control officer line item and the animal inspector line items, $25 and $25, so they can split it up at that time. Until it's my understanding, and I might, but I had this conversation, and Lisa indicated that it would probably be easier for the time being if it comes out of our budget.
Until,
and I believe that's the case.
So
Okay.
when does
Yeah.
the police
Yeah.
department budget start? They're not on the same fiscal year as
No,
us?
we
is that
are.
No,
right?
they are.
Everybody's
They
on
are.
the same
Yeah.
fiscal year.
Yeah,
And we're just starting, basically, let's see, July, August,
Or,
September.
you
No,
know,
we're
they-
still in the first quarter.
or
Of
they
the budget.
could, they could absorb it, but we have to have that conversation. And I was hoping that Lisa would be here tonight, but I see she's not.
Mm.
She wouldn't be.
I was just up there talking to her, so I don't know if she had intended.
You were
to
talking
come
to
here.
Cindy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking
Not
to Cindy.
Lisa.
I was
Yeah,
talking to
yeah.
Cindy.
Okay,
I was not
yeah,
talking to Lisa.
yeah.
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 So anyway, but we should have the money easily in our budget. And,
It looks like we do if we
Yeah, we
put
can
it under
pull it out.
services. We
Yeah.
have $1,000.
But
Yeah.
if we're going to be, if she's going to be using this for both us and her police, they should kick in half of it. We shouldn't be doing the whole thing out of our little tiny budget.
Well, that's what I would wonder is, do they
That's
have
gotta be
no
straightened
line
out.
item?
Oh, of course
that
they
has
do.
to be,
Consider
that has to be a conversation with them.
Because
you
it
know.
said, the email that you just showed me,
Yeah.
Trish, said it would be, so for the rest of this fiscal year, it would be prorated to like $460.
Yeah.
So we're talking about $230 each.
Right.
It would seem the police budget must
Oh,
have
please.
$230.
You would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So, I don't know, I think maybe for that, because I think that, yeah, that has to be coordinated with the police
Yeah.
department. So we have to have that conversation.
May I make a quick suggestion, I think, since we're meeting next week? If you could email the police chief, make him aware of this. The deputy chief lives right up the street. I think it would be much easier for him to come and deliver the message to us. I'm sure between him and the chief,
Yeah.
they'll have that discussion, and whether he emails you or whether he comes here to personally
Yeah, I
speak
mean,
to
they
us
should
a
be able to
couple of
look at their
minutes.
budget.
Yes,
I don't know
well,
if
they
it's-
have more lines than
Yeah.
we do,
But,
because it's going to be used between
yeah.
both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what we could do tonight is to, and I don't know if we have to vote or not, because it would come under an existing line item, but if we do, I'll make a motion. We could decide that we're going to appropriate, 50%, or, we're gonna take on 50%
Yes.
for the remaining fiscal
Yes.
year, up to some dollar amount, say, if she said 460, I mean, just to give it a margin of error in case they raise the rate, I would say $250 or something. Do we have to vote on that?
Well, I don't have a problem voting on it, excuse me, but we have to have the answer from the other one, because if he says, no, I'm not going to do it,
Well, that's why I'm saying,
that's
we
why
could-
I made that. We can tentatively,
Yeah.
I will second that if you wanted to do tentatively, based on the results of the conversation with the police chief or the deputy chief.
Well, let's look at it this way. If we only.
Because you won't be here next
Yeah,
week.
yeah, and whatever we need to do. It's like,
Yes,
that doesn't
yeah.
matter. But it would seem that if we only vote or decide that we're going to, we're willing to fund 50% of
50%,
it,
yes.
then the 50%'s got to come from somewhere. It can
Yes.
come from her
Yeah.
employer.
Right.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we should, I should send an email from the board saying that we are willing to split the cost of the device for the animal control officer, out of the police budget, with the other half coming out of our budget.
Yeah.
And see,
That's where I was thinking,
Yeah.
if we did a motion and a vote, you
Right.
could actually tell them, we
We
actually
already
voted
have
on this.
We're
appropriated.
willing to do our share, but
Yeah.
we want the okay from them.
and I can't see that it
No, I
would be a
can't either,
negative
but
response at all.
we
So
still
I
need it.
think that's a good idea where you're not going
Yeah.
to be here. Let's,
Okay, I will make a motion.
I thought you just did.
Well, I don't think I stated it clearly enough.
Yeah,
that
we
it's
need
being
to
recorded.
explain.
So,
Yeah.
so my motion is
Okay.
that we allocate out of our budget for this fiscal year, 50% of the monthly service charges for the animal inspector's smartphone, up to $250.
Okay.
All right, now I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So I will send an email and say just
Yes,
what we
yes,
said,
yes.
and wait to hear back, and then if
Well, let him know, sorry for interrupting, but let him know that we will be having another meeting
Yes.
next week.
Yeah,
October
yeah.
1st.
Appreciate
Because
the
then we can
answer.
get her
a
going.
reply.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Although I
absolutely.
think Cindy's on vacation next week, so.
Oh,
Yeah, but
but it would
if
be
we
going
have
through
it-
Lisa, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be
she-
going.
No, but Cindy's got the phones.
yeah,
and
but
she has to
if
assign
we
it
get
and
the
unlock it.
answer this week,
Yeah, if we
then
get the
that
answer
will be
this week.
Right,
fine.
right.
You can
And
have
you're
it
and
sent.
you're not, if you're not here, it's,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
okay. All right.
Whatever you need to do is fine.
All right. That works. So we've got that in the works.
In the works.
In the works.
Excellent.
Okay. Next, we have continued discussion of issues related to the Board of Health's changing responsibility in matters pertaining to the aquifer protection. All right. And Pam had been gracious enough to do the research on that and is keeping us informed.
So I have some, who wants the large print version? I have one,
Oh.
for some reason, really large print version. If nobody in particular wants it, I'll give it to Jane, because if you
Okay,
want a
great.
more
Yeah, well,
condensed one, you can print it out. So we have no response yet, is that right, Jane, from MA?
Nothing,
This is things, because look
nothing.
at the one we have now, how nice this is.
I know.
That's nice. It's dark, it's big enough to read.
I've been trying to figure out if you can, if you should.
Oh, this is groundwater protection.
Right.
Right, okay.
So I have been unable to find anything on any website that really clearly says whether or not you can have a zoning bylaw and a Board of Health regulation that cover the same territory. And so this information, this is off of the MAHB website, and it's a model regulation. But before you actually get into the model regulation, which starts like from here on down, it does talk about, and I found this in a couple of places, that as a town, you should decide whether, like if you look paragraph 1, 2, 3 from the bottom, how does the community determine when it is appropriate to adopt a Board of Health regulation rather than a zoning bylaw, ordinance, or local bylaw? So even they seem to be kind of saying that this is kind of a one or the other thing, and I get that on some level because it does seem to make sense that you wouldn't have two laws or regulations
Right.
covering the same ground. So I thought what we should probably do is maybe take this away for reading and further thought. I found a couple of other things, not MAHB, but Mass DEP had a little thing about it, and they all say kind of the same thing, that you can either do this through bylaw or you can do it through a health regulation. I found nothing that addressed having both. So
And see, this is 1995.
this is, yes,
And
exactly.
when we did ours, which was then amended,
Yep.
it went before town council, and then it went through town meeting.
Yeah, I know. But I guess the question then becomes, if this really is an either or, although they do talk about here that you can have this kind of hybrid. So on page 2, they say, well, maybe a bylaw might be appropriate to regulate the siting of new facilities that generate hazardous waste. Health regulation could be used for restricting how certain materials are stored. So
But see,
they're still kind of saying maybe you should, if you're going to have both, maybe you should at least split the requirements into 2. But our bylaw covers exactly the same ground that our regulation does.
Apparently, the only thing that's getting everybody now is not the bylaw per se so much, but the fact that we're the special permit from that.
Right. That we were in
Yeah.
the previous bylaw.
Right.
And we can't be.
So that's why
Yeah.
we changed this, which was approved by town council that came to a district health regulation.
Well, we didn't actually change that because that still has us as the special permit.
But again,
Granted.
what was so
Yeah, I know.
what was so crazy about it though is that it specifies health regulation, went before
Yeah, I know.
town council, and still lists us as the special permit.
I know.
So,
I know. So I don't know if that was
they
really
can't get
right, what they did in the first place. But we really have to, come to a decision. But if we just kind of take this away and think
And
about
read it.
I could try calling MAHB. Did you try calling them and just get no answer?
I can't
or?
get a number. Do you have a phone number for them?
No,
I
don't
can't
know if I
find.
do.
I went online. I've looked. I can't find a phone number.
That's where I would get it too. Unless, because I took their class right after that one day weekend
Oh,
thing, right after I got on the board. So there might be materials
Well, see,
from that
where
say.
would that be? If they,
I would
do you
have
think
it
you would
somewhere in
have-
all my stuff.
Well, if you can
Uh,
find that phone number, I would be more than happy
Can we
to
get it
call.
from Neshoba? No?
Well,
It's
that's
very strange. But more and more, you can't get phone numbers online.
I know.
Yeah.
Because people
It's-
really don't want to be called, I think is what it
It's
comes down
so, I sent the thing, how they have the email set up, because you don't even know what their
Yeah.
email is.
to.
So I used that form and sent it off, and I
Yeah,
haven't gotten
and we never
a
heard
reply.
anything.
Not a thing.
I'm
Not a
gonna
word.
look through my course materials from that and see if there's a phone number
Yeah.
on there.
And did you say, Mary, maybe it is, maybe NABOH,
Right,
Neshoba
that's the other thing. Is,
might have that phone number.
Yeah.
Or Neshoba might even be able to give us an opinion on, is it possible to have what are there other towns that they cover
Yeah.
that have both a
Well,
bylaw
see,
and a regulation?
I asked Bridget to give us, I've been asking her to give us information, and
Yeah.
she said she would.
Yeah,
but
we
she
haven't
didn't
heard,
leave-
we haven't heard
She was
back.
here this morning, but she
Yeah.
didn't leave anything, so.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're working. That I
But she
do know.
keeps saying, "Oh yeah, I have all this stuff. I'll do
I'm
it
sure there's
before,"
some
but
other
I haven't heard from her.
town we can reference for
I
that.
started looking at surrounding towns.
That's right, you had that
and
list the last, but there
Yeah,
was
like
nothing that
wasn't-
was comparable to.
I wasn't really finding anything that hit on our situation. The reason I like MAHB is that they have attorneys as part of their organization.
Correct.
But you know what?
Could give
That's
us
right.
a read.
Oh,
Mass DEP. I also found some stuff on the Mass DEP website that kind of says the same thing here, that towns towns should decide. We didn't say they have to.
Right.
Towns should decide. How do you want to protect your groundwater? Do you want to do it through Board of Health regulations? Do you want to do it through a bylaw, zoning bylaw? Do you want some mix of that? So I could also call If I have a phone number, I will call MAHB.
Okay. What I
And
wanted
the
to say
Other
about
is
this
DP.
is that they do not have, or let me back up. They're using Copeland and Page for their legal
Yeah.
stuff.
Who,
MA,
HB?
But they have so
Really?
many various lawyers, they are now that hundreds
Okay.
of them.
Well, I mean, even within a law office, you ask two different
It's
Yeah.
different departments.
attorneys.
Yeah.
You can get
yeah,
different
but
opinions.
I noticed when I was on the website that,
Oh, interesting.
because I
Okay.
read the spots off of it looking for a phone number.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the surround, it
Yeah,
wasn't,
that's,
but I don't know why these,
I'll give it another.
yeah,
I'll-
but
I'll
if you
give that
have a
another
phone,
shot. Yeah, if I
yeah,
can find
if
a
you
phone
can find
number
a
for them
phone number.
anywhere,
Yeah,
then I'll do that.
yeah.
So this was just kind of read it and
yeah.
see if this makes you feel any particular way, I guess, about it.
Okay.
And then I will still try to get a hold of these two. Can't get a clear answer. However, I do have some nice little packages for everyone
Oh, goody.
to take home and
More
read.
reading if we're
More
bored at
reading.
night.
But no, this is
Hurry.
actually kind of a proposal. So what you got in your packet is a copy of the current animal and fowl regulation, a clean revised copy, because when I printed the track changes, it was like 30 pages long. You couldn't tell what was going where. So I would actually just, if you want to see the changes, kind of read the two
Okay.
side by side. It has just about all the stuff that we talked about last 2 weeks ago. That it's not a by right thing because we're not a right to farm community. I did put in here, when we talked about the foxes, skunks, minks, raccoons, rabbits,
Yep.
I added a little specification here. Shall be raised for commercial fur farming purposes. And I did a little research on that, and there are a couple of reasons why towns ban that, the towns that do, that is. And one of the reasons is that for fur farming, as I suspected, you're not really that concerned about the health and welfare of the animals, because it's not going to be around very long. So they tend to keep them in very tight
Yeah.
enclosures, so they really lead sort of short, brutal lives. And I don't know that they would be able to satisfy this square footage requirement that I've got laid out in here. So that alone might keep any
From
fur farms out.
doing it, yeah.
I also, we talked a little bit about wolf dog hybrids and found that actually that wolf dog hybrids and any other hybrid, which is, I actually threw in the definition here, it's a cross between a domestic animal and its wild counterpart. They are illegal in Massachusetts. So that would not be unique to our town. So I cited the state law in that.
Okay.
Then, the other things that you have in here are kind of backup. On the MAHB website, there's a section you can click on that has health regulations. And ours aren't on there. I don't know if you have to, tell them it's okay or whatever, but it does have a bunch of regulations from different towns.
Wait a
that
minute,
cover
wait a
a bunch of
minute.
topics.
You're telling me none of our health regulations?
Not on the MAHB website. They're on our website.
No, I heard what you said.
No, they're not. But it doesn't look like all the regulations from any town are on there. So I don't know what exactly you need to do to get your regulations on their website.
Well, that's the question we can ask.
Well, when
Yeah,
we
if I have to
have-
call them, I'll ask them.
When we
Yeah.
have a public hearing, It's
Yep.
always posted. I think we always let them know when we adopt new ones, so
MAHB?
I believe so. But,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
well,
But-
and then that's something we need to do.
We could, if we want to. I mean, you know, we could think about what are the advantages and disadvantages of doing that. But my point here being that I think were 4 towns that had animal regulations no, there were a lot more that have them in Massachusetts.
Right.
But they had Medfield, they had,
That's old. I just caught it.
yeah, I think like Brighton or something. No, it's 4 different towns. The one that's the most like us is Medfield. This regulation isn't old. The one that it was the groundwater. That was the May 1995. This Medfield one, I don't think it has. So it was revised 97. I don't know if it has changed or has not changed since then. And that actually might be a disadvantage to putting your regs on there because maybe they don't get updated when they need to. But I actually liked this regulation. So the last thing in your packet this is the same thing that I was showing you last time,
Yep.
is I think it's important to, if we're gonna model our regulation after somebody's, to be looking at a community that's similar to us in terms of population density. I think is the most
I don't
important.
disagree with that.
So, you know, Medfield it's 1.5 times at least the size of Ayer, but also the area. So when you look at this population density, it's very close. We're 773 per square mile, they're 823. So they are a little denser than we are, 6.4% denser than Ayer. So I think that's pretty comparable.
Yep.
And for people who didn't know where Medfield is, because to me it's one of those M towns down there. The primary surrounding towns, as far as I can tell, were Walpole, Sherburne, Millis, and Norfolk. And then it's the intersection of Route 109 and Route 27. So it's inside of 495, kind of to the south of the Mass Pike and Route 9. So you can take it home and read. I'm not going to explain everything that's in here, but current, you've got my proposed, revised, drafted, and then you've got Medfield, so you can see what I used for a source. And one thing I really liked about Medfield was that and this was not unique to them, I saw this in some other towns too, where they put this table of, if you're going to have certain kinds of animals other than horses, they have a lot of detailed stuff. I kept our 1/2 acre. Theirs, I think, was either 4 acre. It was more than ours, but I figured if we were okay before, we're okay now. But I also put a table in ours that says what the size of the pen or the coop or the little cubby, I guess, I don't know if that's the coop or not, what that needs to be, this corral size, and then what the height of the fencing recommendation is for all these different kinds of animals. So I added that.
Okay.
I pulled pretty much all of our specifics on the horses and how you keep them, and they have to be ventilated, and you can't have manure runoff and all that. I kept that. I added something to the application, which is something that we came up against here.
Right.
And that is, we want the applicant's full name and address and where the facility is going to be. But we also want to know the name, address, and phone number of the landowner. If they're different from the applicant.
Absolutely they are.
And I threw in a signed statement from the landowner that they are aware of and they have no objection to the applicant's request for a permit. Because I think it was before you were on the board, but we had a tenant thing where the tenant wanted to do it, but we were like, it's your land.
Yeah, it's not yours, yeah.
Yeah. Something to pay a little bit of attention to is, under the general requirements, this facility for location, how it's got to be so many feet away from abutting property lines and this and that. You know, just see if you think that that's reasonable. I think I pretty much took that. I also have something here about burying your dead animals and how and where you can do that. So it's pretty comprehensive.
Thank you.
So read and either weep or cheer or something in between.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Cam, for doing all that work.
You're very welcome. And then it's probably good that I'm not going to be here next week.
They'll give us a little,
Yeah, I was
Well, yeah, I mean, not that we'd have to
yeah.
talk about it even if I was here.
no, but,
You know, it will give some time to read, mark it up, and
yep,
maybe at that next meeting, if we don't have anything super pressing, we could kind of use that as a, like a working meeting. to
Yeah.
Collect comments and see what.
go through it.
yeah,
And get
we might
some
wanna
from-
do differently. Yeah, and
Neshoba.
Mm-hmm.
I will
I haven't talked
email
to Bridget. I
a
don't
copy
know
of
about
this to
you.
you, Jane,
No, I
so
haven't,
you
but
can
Jane said
email
she
it
saw
to, or I could just email it and
To
copy
Bridget?
you.
This,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
copy?
Why don't I
Question
just
for
do
you,
that?
did you outlaw roosters?
Oh,
What's your
I
stance?
didn't,
yeah, we
in
talked
this
about
one.
that.
We could, but I did say that if your rooster raises a ruckus, it's gotta go.
Right.
So I didn't just ban them outright, but there are a lot of towns that do. So,
That ban them?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Unless we say they're banned unless by special. I mean, we could just,
Well, we do say in here that we have to, you know, you have to tell us exactly what it is that you're gonna
That's right.
Right.
be keeping. And if,
That's right.
you know, it's gonna be anything above and beyond that, you have to,
but if maybe we say, roosters by special dispensation.
I don't want to start getting
said
too
something about.
nitty gritty on this.
Well, roosters are obnoxious.
I am very aware of
Yeah.
roosters. I lived across the street from someone that got chicken and roosters. So
Yeah, and it's
very
obnoxious.
aware of them.
There is something in here about roosters where I think it says exactly.
It says
what
no
I
rooster
said.
shall be kept unless the permit so specifies.
Ah,
Oh,
Yes.
and it shall be adequate
Adequate.
cause for refusing or revoking a permit to keep a rooster if one or
correct.
more abutters complain of
That's
its presence
correct.
by
That's
reason
it.
of noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's okay, but
No.
You've got to keep it
Gotta
in
keep
a
it
quiet. I mean,
soundproof pen.
Yeah.
We've had complaints and we've acted on it, so.
yeah, and we are kind of densely, especially with all the new houses going up
Oh my
everywhere.
God.
Right.
We're getting really densely, populated. So, but it is more. It's just organized a little differently. So it's got horses in its own section. It's got fowl in its own section, and then it's got this weird little section about other animals that says, yeah, for the most part, the horse stuff applies, except these are the pen, corral, and
And
fence.
see, and my thing with getting some information from our agents is what are you having problems with?
Yeah.
What are you getting calls on?
Right.
Yeah.
We need to
You
look
know.
at that to see
Yeah.
what the majority of calls, like, are we getting a bunch of calls about the
Yeah,
roosters
yeah,
and
exactly. Well, I know you've gotten calls
Yeah.
about,
Roosters? Yeah.
about roosters.
In
yeah.
fact, sometimes chickens are out or they're out and then they get frozen.
That's true, or wandering.
Yeah, we had
So
frozen
anything
capons at
wandering.
one point.
Yeah.
But basically, that's the biggest complaint I've had is for roosters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when I call people, they're like, yeah, we didn't know we had a rooster. We're trying to get rid of it, blah, 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 blah. But,
Because you get little chicks in the
Yeah,
mail,
you
you don't know
get-
what
yeah,
they
you don't know.
are, right?
well, they're sexed. but sexing a chick
Yeah.
is more of an art than a
Than a
science.
science. I got it.
And a few get by the sex experts,
Yeah, I got
the
it.
little chicks.
I got it.
So that's basically, but they do cause a problem. And
Yeah.
but we don't want to ban them outright. I don't think, because some people might be breeding them.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so
breeding or not, if your neighbors complain, then who's
Right,
to
I
say
think
no?
that's reasonable the way it's
Have
worded.
the language
Right.
in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
when we, and what is your, my thought would be we work on these through the winter, because we're almost
Yeah.
in it, and have a public hearing if we make a lot of changes.
Yeah.
If we just tweak a couple of things, or like you said, well, I set this out in this section instead of having it all mixed
Yeah.
up. If it isn't a lot of changes, we don't have to have a public hearing.
Right,
If it's a matter of, like I said, of just,
Yeah. I think there's actually a significant.
well, when we get it all done,
Yeah.
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 Now,
It's the final
Yeah.
version. Right. We have to.
My other thing would be, if we're going to, as we look through all our other regulations,
Yeah.
if we really need to change any regulations, perhaps one night we could have 2 public hearings and get it over,
Yeah,
as
yeah, we
opposed
could.
to,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we gotta do this one, this night,
Yeah,
that
I
one,
know.
get
Yeah.
it done.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, once we
Yeah,
get into the
yeah.
budgeting, and
I agree.
we whip right through
Yeah.
the winter and everything.
Yeah. Right.
you know.
Then you get into the holiday season stuff.
Yeah, that's true, Mary.
difficult, so.
That's true.
All right. So this is just
All right.
read and
That's for us to look over
Yeah.
and digest for the next.
And then I was thinking that maybe the next one that we should take a look at might be body art, and we talked a little bit about that last week. I found something interesting about tattooing and piercing, whatever. The state doesn't regulate that. Towns do in Massachusetts. So there isn't any. You need a state license to cut somebody's hair or trim their nails.
I know.
But you don't need a state license to stick a stub through their tongue or
I
God
know,
knows where
I know.
else. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So-
Well, we never said that state government wasn't
Right.
off sometime.
That's true.
That's a little odd.
So I pulled a couple of regs on this, and I thought I'm just going to compare it to ours, and that actually might be a minor change
minor,
to ours, because we
okay.
might just have to pull in the piercings and stuff. I don't know.
do we have a tattoo parlor anymore here? I don't think we do we?
There was on Main
We
Street, and then
used
it
to
moved to
have
Park Street. I'm trying to think if it's still
Is
over there. I don't know.
I don't think so,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
because I haven't gotten
Yeah.
anything on them in a long
I
time.
don't know.
But I used to, they used to pop up
Yeah.
We
now and
had,
then, but
Yeah.
at various times, I think we had a
We had
couple
2.
of-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
So that's what I've been up to this week.
Thank you, Pam.
Okay.
Been busy girl.
Been staying busy.
All right. So do we have some reading to do? Material from Bridget?
nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Really?
No.
Yeah, she didn't leave anything.
Nope.
That's strange.
No.
She took stuff, so she was here, but she didn't leave anything.
It's very strange.
Well,
See.
I don't think there's ever been a week that we haven't had at least some sort of an
Yeah.
inspection
No,
or
she- a lot of
something
times
going
she
on.
does.
Unless she's
Good
just
stuff.
straight out. It's not something.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The mail from Robert about the water main break on Littleton Road.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
report on that.
Can
I
you,
was
Mary?
wondering if you
How
were
long were
there
you
or
out?
not.
The whole Devon's Crest was
Was out for how many hours?
Really?
Well, thank God I get up early. When I wake up, I'm up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
turn over. So
Really?
Friday, I had my first cup of coffee at 4:05
Oh my
a.m.
God.
And
That's my husband.
yeah.
You just
So,
going to bed at 10.
oh my goodness. So anyway, you know, I brush my teeth. I'm going out to do something, and I turned the water on, and it was just dripping. I said, "Oh, just what I need. I must have a broken pipe." So I go down cellar. I look all around. No, and then I got in my car. I came out. Littleton Road was all wet. The guys are out there. I said, "Oh gosh." So the long story was, if you know, you just go by the first Willard Street if you're going down.
Yeah.
You know where the excuse me, the big sign is that says Devon's Crest Apartments.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
right there. The problem was that there is a gas line
Uh-huh.
right near there, so you have to wait for the gas company to come.
Oh,
So about
got it.
11:15 that night, and this all happened at 10 in the morning. 11:15, I went like this. I said, "No, still no water. The only thing that bothers you, you can't brush your teeth.
Yeah.
So with your trench
Yeah.
mouth."
Yeah.
I saw the lights going by and everything. I asked one of my neighbors, and she said, "I think it was around 2:30 in the morning." When it came back on. And then, of course, you forget in the morning when you get up and you go, "Oh, I think, God, yes, I got to brush my teeth." You
Yeah.
turn the faucet on, it goes, and
Yeah.
all the red
Yeah.
stuff comes flying out, you know, your toothbrush is
Ah.
red, everything is red. I said,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you've got air in all the pipes.
Right, right.
So this was they weren't doing any work or anything. It was just a.
Well, our
it
guys,
just
It
blew.
was a water main break, yeah.
yeah, it was a big break.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I saw Mark, he said, "Oh, you know," he told me, and he said, I imagine," he said, "it'll be most of the day, most of the day." I
Pretty
said,
incredible
"Why?"
they could fix that in a day if that's a major water.
Yeah.
Our guys have come out before and done stuff, you know, but
Yeah.
they've done it when they knew they were going to do it, and they did it like starting at 4:00 because they didn't want to disturb a lot of
Right.
the businesses. So this
Yeah.
meant that none of the businesses could do
Yeah.
anything either,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that took all our area. It was
Yeah.
awful. Yeah.
But it's all over.
It's
And
yeah.
everything's-
Well, they've got all their little yellow markers out there, so I'm in hopes that everything is fine. And,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a huge thing.
Hate losing water.
Oh, I know.
The next piece of mail is the DEP forwarded from Mark Wetzel, superintendent. It says the Ayer transfer station minor post-closure use application. It's has completed a technical review of the permit application listed
Oh.
above.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of those. And then we just had a copy of the budget that Jane had, that we looked at earlier, that had to do with the device.
Yeah.
And that is all we have. So for action items for the first, Pam's not going to be here, so we're not going to have a great discussion about either one of those packets without you.
No, I
certainly
will.
can. Talk about it.
No. We're
want to.
gonna wait because, like Mary said, we'd like to go through it and
And you need some time.
and
to
you need
get
some
home.
time.
Yeah.
And also what you said about the having a special permit for both. We want to
Yeah.
get going on that and get through it line by line and really digest it.
Yeah.
Have some time for
And I'm
that.
going to try to find somebody. DEP, MA.
I can't
somebody
believe that
can tell me.
that over at Neshoba, they don't have a higher power number. At, the next level.
They might.
They-
Yeah, they might.
They
I
must.
haven't asked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so.
and we haven't
Yeah.
heard a word, so.
Yeah. But we have
Anyways,
members. Hey, is
Yeah.
it on our bill? Do we keep
Oh.
copies of our bills?
What do you mean?
Well, I do,
'Cause we
and I
belong
looked,
to
but I didn't.
NHB.
There's
No?
not a the phone number isn't on there either. I'm pretty
They
sure
really
I pulled
don't
a.
want people calling.
No, I don't know. It's just very strange.
Ah,
Very strange.
I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
must
right.
have something.
Anybody have anything else? What about action items for next week, Mary, if it's just you and I?
No, I was just thinking this Grove Pond thing is apparently going to cost us, I think, in the long run, a lot more money than was originally
I
said.
didn't think that was going to be.
Well,
No,
I don't know.
no.
If
Yeah.
watched the selectmen's meeting on the 11th, Mr. Wetzel was there, and he talked about it again because you know how they had to close that well 8
Yeah.
that they refer to.
Yeah.
Then they had to open up one of the ones that had been
Yeah.
closed. Well, then it's been closed for a long while, so then they had to over-chlorinate it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they had to send out
Yeah.
notices to everybody because everybody was saying, what's with the water?
Yeah,
What's with the
yeah.
odor and everything? At that point, just for chemicals, I think, just to do that one well, it was like $75 worth of chemicals or
Yeah.
you know, like this. No, 75,000 he had paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little change.
Yeah.
We'll add that zero. And so I'm thinking to myself, wow, we've got the 4.2 for the, well, shall we say, what's hopefully will resolve it. But this is going to be an ongoing, long
It
problem.
is. And my big concern is that you shut down well number 8, it's just going to move it to well number 7. Well number 7 is going to start picking up.
Well,
Where-
they certainly do and have always done a lot of sampling of the water, so.
Yeah. But it's kind of scary though, the way they're like the 3 in a row. And sure, it made sense to do it that way because it's probably less costly to put them in. But when you get something like this, that's the word plume seems to come up in air so
Yeah.
much. But where it's this plume that's kind of moving,
Well, air is
Yeah.
surrounded by contamination,
it is, yeah.
you know. And we've spent, as I've said many times, we've spent a lot of money over the course of the years with various consultants. Water, find another
Yeah.
place for us to
Yeah.
put different wells, and there just is not another place.
No,
So,
it isn't.
unfortunate as it is.
Yeah, I know.
So I think we're in, of course you're not hearing anything from your Congress people. Oh, please. You won't hear anything. It's an election year. You don't hear anything from them.
Isn't it funny when you think back too about how, because my father worked on Devon's, he was a cab driver, so it was, oh my God, if Devon's closes, we're gonna die, we're gonna, our whole community is gonna collapse, and it's like, we didn't really know then what Devon's was doing to us.
Well, look at all the different rules and regs and the things we know now. We
Yeah.
didn't know years
That's
ago.
true.
Yeah.
Like I remember a neighbor said once, well, you used to change your oil in your car and you just dump the oil in the ground.
You used to do
didn't
that in
know.
my yard.
Yeah,
My
you
father
didn't
would
know
do that.
these things.
Right.
So, I think everybody now is realizing and protecting
Yeah.
their water
Yeah.
is a real thing. I think we're doing a right thing here. It's expensive, but
Yeah.
you've got to have clean water.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll.
So what do you,
I think we'll just follow it. But I'd like to hear something. Remember, I asked. I think it was last week or the last meeting. The list. Jane had given us a whole list of the regs we had, and we said if we could just get this over to Neshoba Board of Health and see if
Yeah.
there's anything, because a lot of it isn't anything that pertains to us.
Yeah. You know what I noticed when I was looking at aquifer stuff? That towns that do have Board of Health aquifer regs, the floor drain thing is part of that.
Oh, well, ask her if we need to have that. I don't know why, but
Because I think a floor drain maybe only really is a problem if you're in aquifer.
yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Why would a floor drain be a problem? What do you mean a floor drain?
It just
Industrial,
drains
you
in.
mean like
Industrial,
industrial, yeah.
And I
Where
don't
does it
think-
drain in the floor? It drains
I
in
don't
the-
think
Like a
we've had a
basement has
problem
floor
Yeah.
drain,
with
Yeah,
our
yeah.
but
aquifer
it doesn't go
protection
into the
bylaw.
wastewater.
That's just the
Um,
thing. You know,
I think it just goes
we've had a
into the
few
ground.
people come for
Yeah, I
a
think
public
I
hearing,
think
but
the
we
kind
haven't,
of floor drains
we
they're
haven't
talking
had a
about
problem
there.
per se, and
I
someone
just stumbled
calling
across
up and
that.
saying, hey,
Oh, okay. You're learning
know.
a lot
Yeah.
about infrastructure.
I'm learning a little more than I thought that you
So for next, we'll have an answer probably by the next meeting from the police department.
I should think so.
We can discuss that and then move on to, I mean, if Pam's not here, do we need to vote? Anything else?
Well,
We've
it
already
doesn't matter if
applied.
Pam's here or
Yeah.
not. It's the same as the selectmen.
Right.
Some nights they only have 2 people there. If you only have 2 people there, those 2 people vote.
Yep.
If there's something to vote on, we'll vote on it.
And we are pretty well set. We already did that with the
Yes,
splitting
with
it
the-
right down the middle.
I
So
have an
just-
executive board meeting Thursday night.
What are you,
I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to answer Jean's question of whether floor drains in industrial and commercial facilities are often tied to a system leading to a leaching field.
Oh, okay.
Huh. So I'd have to read ours and see if it says, if you have sewer, you have to connect your floor drain to your sewer.
Maybe
Because
that's
otherwise,
the
it,
issue.
it might make sense to be with aquifer.
Yeah, because it might foul the groundwater, depending
Yeah.
on what kind of
Yeah,
stuff
what you're
is
putting in
there.
there.
alrighty.
See that?
So I told you, I have the executive board Thursday night, so I should be able to give you an update on that next
Okay.
Monday.
Okay.
That's cool. So are we,
That's all I can
Okay,
think
so
of.
that's all I
So,
can, so just an update from the police department and Mary's.
yeah,
update on
and I
executive
mean, we
board.
have our routine things anyway. Anything from
yeah,
Bridget,
stuff,
I'd like to
whatever,
get some
yeah.
information from, if we could start gathering some information.
Yeah.
If Jane has sent them that list of regulations we have when they were
Yeah.
done and any changes we need.
well, I'm
So
gonna
that we
send
can-
my revision of the animal to her. and
Yes,
just ask her
yes.
if she could comment on that, not for the first, but maybe for our next.
Correct, I mean, so we can get working on things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So Pam, you're gonna do that, you're gonna
Yeah, I'm gonna do
email it.
that. I'm also
Email it
gonna
to-
call, I will find a number for MAHP.
Yeah.
Somewhere or another, I'll find it.
Let me know what it is.
Yes, I will.
Because
Yeah.
and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure. I started to look for the bills, and I'm not sure that I located them before I was interrupted, but they,
There might be like a, somewhere
Maybe
on
you've
their
got a
letterhead or something, but
Yeah.
not necessarily.
I don't know, it's just like things are, organizations are harder and harder to get a hold of some carriers.
On
Yeah,
purpose.
it's not the first time
On
I've found it
purpose, Yeah.
Yeah.
really hard to find a
Okay.
phone number.
All right, so if that is all, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right,
All right, all those in favor?
aye.
hi.